Will you be there when the stars align?
Before we begin, thank you very much to Energon Prime and Saber for the next HasLab for joining the Patreon campaign. I don't know if I disagree with that. Energon is definitely in that realm of maybe people will buy it. So HasLab would be appropriate. I would buy that in an instant, especially if you can promise me a Saber that isn't completely a brick in robot mode. Because even the third party is struggling with that. I need someone to figure out how to make that toy happen. I don't think it's impossible. Someone just needs to figure out the engineering and just do it already. But thank you very much. A very appropriate time to actually give me that shout out, because today I decided we're going to be talking about the various combiners of Optimus Prime. Specifically, this is going, in order to not have like 50 odd entries in this list, I am going for a very specific little group here. This is not super modes and this is not minicon power-ups. We are specifically looking for other entities that combine with Optimus Prime beyond just like his trailer, for instance. And we've got 18 of them to go over, so join me now as I inevitably put your favorite somewhere too low on the list for your tastes. But we're going to start with the OG, and this does count. I know you're going, God Bomber. No, that's Super Jinrai. That's a completely different character. I know. But it was reissued, and it was part of the Power Master Optimus Prime reissue, which means Apex Bomber absolutely counts. So Apex Bomber here is still the OG Optimus Prime combiner. And it is a pretty good one. You're getting a wing pack, you're getting chest armor, you're getting some height extension, you're getting extra armor on the arms. You're hitting all the notes that I need on a really good combination for Optimus Prime, because it creates very different visuals, which is what I like in a Optimus Prime combination. As at this point, I'm going to let you guys know we are going to also count for just about everything that comes to mind. So toy functionality we can apply, overall look and logic that applies. Yeah, we're going to be all over the map as far as the justifications for what ends up where. But I think Apex Armor ends up top tier. We're starting heavy with a really, really strong contender for a Holy Grail piece. Yeah, the full God Jinrai is a beautiful thing. And yeah, like, even as Apex Bomber, very, very cool to see. Love that combo. And we're immediately going to follow that with Energon Optimus Prime, and not the ones you think about. No, this is the deluxe. This is deluxe Optimus Prime, because he too could be a combiner with the Power Link Deluxes. At least if you had the deluxe version of the toy. It ain't that great. I commend them for putting together an Optimus that could actually play along with the main gimmick. That's actually a really fun little trick to do. The overall combination doesn't look as good as many of the other Energon Deluxes. I don't remember it even having a leg mode. If it does, it's just Prime, little waddly body. I think it's just upper body, which means it is much more limited than the others. And just overall look, it's not quite there. It's going for like small version of the leader classes super mode, but it's not hitting the right notes, and it's not too functional either. So I'm going to bargain bin this one. I kind of hate that, because I do really like the Energon Power Link gimmick, but it just felt crammed in on Prime just for the sake of doing it. How about Jetfire? And this is Armada Jetfire that we're going to cover first. This one I've always been a little bit torn on, because on one hand, it is just Optimus Prime with a new pair of pants, which doesn't seem like much of a super mode, but at the same time, the wings on the legs do, that's a classic visual for Transformers thanks to the cone heads, so it's not unfamiliar, and you are adding chest armor and new weaponry to him, so I'm going to give it that. I'm not sure I don't think it's really the best combination. I wish like I wish the arms had changed a little bit more. Like if we had add some armor on the lower arms or something. When we'll go back to this complaint because someone else is guilty of this too. I think it just could have done a little bit more than it did. It's fine for what it is. I'm going to put it retail release for now. I might bump it up to premium depending on what else happens. It's fine for what it is. And it's fine for Armada's method of combination. I think it's just lacking a little bit. So what about Jetfire from the movies? Because this one is in a relatively similar vein, but it is doing a little bit different. So his lies largely in the upper body. You're getting expanded midsection armor, which is not a whole lot visually. You are getting some major weapon upgrades. You're getting like really big heavy cannons along with him. And you are also getting the jetpack as well as the big shoulder extensions. In that way, like his combination with Jetfire almost takes a little bit more from Cybertron Optimus in that like its focus is on flight and heavy armaments. It's okay looking for movie Prime. I will admit it's one of the cooler moments in Revenge of the Fallen in a movie that I think is very devoid of cool moments. I'm trying to think of like where I really like this because like visually I feel like it has a lot of good impact to it. Yeah, this one's tricky. This one's tricky. Because, like, I don't... Because it's, like, I'm not big on the aesthetic of it, but it's functionally doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And even if I'm not a huge fan of the aesthetics of it, I have to acknowledge that it's doing its job correctly. And I can't really find fault in it that is not just personal preference, right? You know? So, I tell you what. This is going to end up low end of premium. I'm not going to put anything above that because I think on some level it's better than Armada Jetfire. Just in like it's doing things I prefer more, and I think it like especially with that version of Prime, it works in better. So tricky one. And now we come to one that hurts me to do. Leo Breaker I really like as a character, and I actually do like the toy itself. The combination with Optimus Prime always felt really forced in. It doesn't help that the toy didn't have the budget to actually have the full hand mode that it showed in the animation. According to Hasbro at the time, it was either electronic function or the hand in Savage Claw mode. They went with the electronic because it's a kid's toy line. Like that's the bigger appeal. So it's not the best looking. It always does make Optimus look unbalanced. You have to get the Leo Prime repaint to balance the two out and give them both two gigantic arms. But it's what it is. I don't think it's all that great. I'm going to bargain bin it. That's one where I could see it being really, really good. It's just not there. Like the time, the attention was not spent on that toy to make it work. They're talking about doing a new Cybertron Optimus Prime. Hasbro and Takara both want to do it, and like a proper brand new one. And they did mention that the arm gimmick was something that they would factor in, meaning we would have to be on track for a brand new Leo Breaker at some point. So hopefully they figure that out, and if that happens, we get a proper Savage Claw mode. But until then, I have to put it there. All right, so talking about other entities. So this is Lionblade Optimus Prime. This is from the Rise of the Beast toys. These are fine. Like these are like these are in with like the similar toys that they did for Cyberverse, where like it's the armor that falls on top and folds down over the toy. You know, this is just Optimus Prime's turn to get to do that because all of his were bigger in that line. We'll get to those in a bit. I do like the idea that it's an homage to Leo Convoy or Leo Prime, so to kind of combine the two together. These kind of combiners do tend to have some issues. You know, it's all upper body. You're getting absolutely no additions to the lower body or the actual arms. The arms do end up looking very weirdly placed because this combination raises their head so much higher than it's normally supposed to sit at. I'm gonna put it up to retail release. I think it gets extra points for the novelty of the two primes combining, even if it's Lion Blade, not Leo Prime. You get the drift. It's not a bad one. It's not thrilling, but it's not bad. Now, if we want bad, Omega Supreme could have had so much more going on than he did. This one is disappointing. So remember, it's not just Optimus Prime chunking into his chest and replacing his head. We have a little bit more than that because Omega Supreme also has spots for all of his drones from his normal super mode to mount. So you do have a little bit of play there, a little bit extra. I don't think it's enough to salvage it. It's a very boring combination. I think I did it once, maybe twice when I had these toys as a kid. Well, I wasn't a kid, but like back when those toys were new. I did that twice, I think. And then I just kind of put it to bed and I just kept it combined with Wing Saber forever after that. It's dull. It's boring. It's missing in so many opportunities. Yeah, it's a bad combination. So here we are. This is Arc Power Optimus Prime. I believe we're still in the Cyberverse era here. Like my brain is blending Cyberverse and RID 2015. I will ask forgiveness if I keep mixing them up. But point being, this one is one where Optimus combines with the Arc, or at least a small shuttle that is strikingly similar to the Arc itself. So the overall combination of this does hit all the notes I really, really like. There's a really cool visual change. There's new armor on just about every part of Optimus Prime. It looks really, really cool. The red and the gold do play really, really well, so nothing really clashes in the combination. This is really, really nice. Now, functionally, toy-wise, yeah, it's not tremendous, but I do love the look. I like the concept even. Like, if you're gonna come up with all these, because the whole toy line at the time, like, had all of these Transformers that combined with vehicles into armor. Optimus Prime just happened to combine with the Transformers vehicle. In that, I'm going to put him up to premium. If he was a little bit more functional, I would put him all the way up to Holy Grail. But I think for appearance, combination level, I think all that plays really, really nicely. I'm very, very happy with that combination. We're going to get into the weird ones here. We're going to get some weird ones. Optimus X Prime. This is from Transformers Go in Japan. We talked about this one a while back. This is the Optimus Prime that's a bullet train in vehicle mode and also has this really weird flat dragon alt mode. So take that for what you will. It's a very complicated toy trying to do a whole lot of things. And one of those things is to also be a combiner with the Go toys. And he plays the same way. He can be legs, he can be a midsection, he can be a torso. And when he's a torso, he has additional armor to kind of make that combination far more, Prime-like. I think it's over-designed. I mean, if I'm judging simply on the combination, I do think it's over-designed and overly complex. I think the design is just way too busy. I will give it credit for how many things it can do. I'm giving credit for how many ways he can combine. Visually, I don't think it's all that great. Functionally, I can appreciate it. Visually, I'm not a huge fan of it. If there was one less color going on, if they took the details down a couple notches, he'd probably mark a lot higher. But for right now, I think it's a little ugly. I think it's just kind of an ugly combination. But then again, I've never been a fan of the Go toys, so I might be a little bit biased on that one. I do apologize if that's how I come across, but it's my opinion. We are on to, which one is this? Okay, yeah, we are into Sky Turbine Optimus Prime. So here's another one of those Cyberverse toys, if I'm correct. I want to say it's Cyberverse. It's been a long day. You'll forgive me. But no, this is his just standard vehicle. It is a jet that combines with Optimus Prime. And I do like the overall look here. I mean, gray becomes a very neutral tone with what you're doing. In a weird way, it looks like Optimus Prime combining with Leader 1 from GoBots, because it does kind of give that vibe just a little bit. And I think it's weird that Optimus ends up with design details that actually harken to the Seekers, which is a little weird for Optimus Prime, but you know what? Fine. I do think it's a decent combination. It does suffer the same faults that the Lion Blade Optimus has. Weird placements of the shoulders once the combination is there. This one is a little bit more of like a deluxe package, so there's like a little bit more function to it. And at least it's very heavily armored. Like a well-armed super mode with just lots of weapons hanging off of it. That does raise you up a notch. Because it's doing that, I am going to mark it just ahead of Lion Blade. I think it's just a little bit cooler. We move on from there to... Oh, hang on. My slides messed up. My slides messed up. Okay. They never work. It's supposed to be alphabetical, and somehow they always screw up. Yeah, so we already talked about Sky Turbine. So, you know, apologies for that. That's supposed to be Sky Turbine. You went to the comment section and already corrected me, didn't you? No, we're going to talk about Optimus Maximus now. This is from Combiner Wars. I always felt like this was a missed opportunity because this toy is designed and laid out so much like Optimus Prime from Energon. And supposedly, according to some source out there, the combiners that they chose out of the G1 cast for him are specifically to harken back to the colors of the drones from Energon. And yet, the toy does not make the natural leap to just be a modern Energon Optimus Prime. Like, it's still very stuck in trying to be G1 in style. It's okay for what it is. It's a quirky little thing to make Optimus and a bunch of the 84 cast into like one weird, kibbled to get, like mongrel combiner. But it's not bad. It's not terrible. It really depends on what you do with it. Because like if you throw on like 5 red limbs, then he's going to look really, really interesting. My favorite thing in the world is still like the was it Battlestar, like the white version of this one with just 4 rooks attached, and he just looks like a monster, like mammoth white Optimus Prime. I'm going to knock it because it's that Motormaster mold. That Motormaster mold, it's okay for what it's doing, but that Motormaster mold and that torso mode is always the odd one out from Combiner Wars that I never really like the look of. I don't want to put it in retail. I'm going to put it top of bargain bin. Like I said, I feel like the mold itself is missed opportunity. I think they could have been a little bit more creative with it. And yeah, the mold itself is just not the most pleasant of the torsos in Combiner Wars. Like, there are better out there. Let me move on to you. Okay, now we're on to Overload from Armada. And this is where I'm a little bit torn because, yes, he is a combiner of Optimus Prime, but he really isn't doing all that much. All he does is add giant shoulder cannons to him in robot mode. And that's fine. That's fine. You can technically tow everybody in vehicle mode as well. I don't think like towed combined modes are all that interesting though. I think those are actually kind of lame. But then again, giant cannons, giant shoulder cannons, kind of cool. He is kind of doing the same thing the Jetfire did though, which is I really felt like he could have been doing a little bit more toward the combination. For instance, again, he leaves the arms completely bare, and it does seem like the arms and the upper body are, should be Overload's thing, while Jetfire handles the bottom half of the body. And that would have been a cool way to do it. To kind of split it up so that when both are combined, you get something like really, really cool out of it. Not that the trio itself is still really cool. Don't get me wrong. Again, I just feel like it should have done a little bit more. I think in fairness, I have to put it one notch below Jetfire, but I do still like it. I still like the combination. Slides, are you going to cooperate as we move on to the Crash Combiners? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So this is Prime Lock, the combination with Grimlock. And this one is weird. Green's not a color you combine with Optimus Prime. It's just not. And the attempts to work it into the torso, I think, give him a little bit of a Christmassy look, because it's that bright green and that bright red that really just kind of like hits you in the Yuletide. I'm not a fan of this one. I'm really not a fan of this one. I'm not giving it a bad time because it's a gimmicky toy. I'm trying to judge it purely on like how well does the combiner look and how much does it make sense. And I get it in terms of it's just a goofy toy for kids, but it doesn't look great. It kind of doesn't look great. You're getting blue and red mixed with green and black. It's not a great color combination on the toy. Yeah, I'm putting it pretty low. I am putting it pretty low. And I'm also going to move Leo Breaker up by 1. I'm going to move Leo Breaker up by 1. I'll give him a little bit more credit than that. And now is the other one. And this one is Prime Strong? Prime Strong. I always had to double check. Just like, is it Strong Prime or Prime Strong? Okay. But this one actually does work better. There is something of a Jetfire novelty to it because it's white legs on Optimus Prime. So it's a little bit of an odd aesthetic throwback to Armada. Completely unintentional, mind you. But that said, the colors do work out better. The white goes better with Optimus Prime, as does the blue of Strong Arm, which, and then like adding the fin from Strong Arm's helmet onto Optimus Prime gives you that little bit of Star Convoy vibe. So there's a lot of little homages going on in this combination. I do think it works considerably better, So what do we do with this? Putting toy quality aside, I think I want to put it like middle of the retail releases. I want to put it like right below the Armada guys, because it's a combination that works. And I think even like on a personality level, it works better knowing those two characters. They seem like someone who would combine like that. Okay, so Sky Gary here is going to represent Star Convoy's combination with both Sky Gary and Grandus, because it's kind of all one and the same here. So the vehicle modes do combine in their base, the base modes combine via connecting ramps, etc. But that's not much of a combination. I wasn't really factoring that in. Their official combination, and the one they used actually in like the Battlestars storyline, specifically to defeat Super Megatron, was Optimus Prime towing Grandus while Sky Gary rode on top. That was the combination. We just covered how much I really do not like these cobbled together vehicle Optimus Prime tows everyone combinations. They don't feel like combinations. Everyone basically just becomes another trailer, and that to me is not really all that exciting. If those two, especially Sky Gary, I think would be way, way cooler if he could actually armor up Star Convoy. Not going to happen. Never going to happen. But I'm just going to tell you right now, my least favorite combination with Optimus Prime in general, because it barely counts as a combination. Fictionally, it does count, because fictionally, they made a big deal out of it. Toy-wise, it's lame, and I do not like it. One reason I've never gone after the Battlestars boys. Okay, coming down to the end here, and we are ending on heavy, heavy hitters. Ultra Magnus from RID, I think, is a lot of people's favorite Optimus Prime combiner, and you know what? You are completely correct. The combination for Omega Prime looks absolutely stunning. Again, the white and the blue, harkening back. The white and blue combined with Optimus Prime's red and blue works. It's a combination that really, really works. Go back to Prime Strong. Throw one more weird homage, and the colors actually match Optimus Prime's RID combination. But yeah, you throw in things like it's armor for the entire body. Everything armors up and powers up when it's combined with Ultra Magnus. Everything. It's such a dynamic visual change, but it still looks like a super powerful Optimus Prime. It's a super, super nice looking combination. We love Omega Prime. We are all looking forward to this fall when we get our HasLab Omega Primes and we can all just run to each other. Run outside, run from your bedroom, down the stairs, out to your yard, so your friend can combine his toy with yours. Anyone else remember that commercial? Am I speaking into the wind? Let's move on. Let's move on to the Wing Sabers. So, if you know this channel, you know my history with Wing Saber. The individual toy is terrible, but we're not considering the individual toy. It looks great, plays badly, combines brilliantly. Both combinations look really, really good. Does help that he perfectly matches Optimus Prime's color scheme. And no, I'm not trying to be biased because he's an homage to Star Saber. I'm just going to flat out say, yeah, he's the best. He is absolutely the best combiner Optimus Prime ever had. Like, bar none. Like, that is the top. Both combinations look great. Like, the main wing combination, like the default, even that looks incredible. Because, again, it just kind of looks like a super powerful Optimus Prime. You know, just about everything gets new armor. Everything gets new weaponry, especially in the, the assault mode. It's a brilliant piece. It's a brilliant combiner for Optimus Prime. Really, again, I'll say it again. The shout out was correct. It's a perfect choice for a HasLab 2-pack. I want it. And we're going to finish up with Wing Saber again. But this time it's the Cybertron version. And I'll be honest with you, it doesn't hit me nearly as hard. Does not hit me nearly as hard. You're throwing the yellow in there, which is okay. You're basically adding a primary color to Optimus Prime. But I don't think it hits enough of a visual change. The weird thing here is it very much is in line with what, for instance, Apex Bomber, God Bomber, is doing for Optimus Prime, Jinrai, whatever. And it's mostly doing the same stuff. Gigantic jetpack, and then chest armor, new weaponry. You could also draw a comparison to Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire's combination method, which is probably a little bit closer. But that said, I feel like the color scheme doesn't work quite as well with Optimus, and I'm not getting nearly as much of a visual change. Again, I would like something to be on the shoulders. I'd like something to be on the arms. The legs get a little added like weaponry attached to the side, but barely noticeable. I feel like for as good as Optimus Prime's super mode is in Cybertron, and how many things chunk onto him and how many things converge there, it just feels like his combiner partners don't really do that justice. It's okay. I mean, it's good for what it is. And I'll tell you this, I'm enough to put it up at the bottom of premium. I like it enough for that because it's not the greatest, but it's not doing anything offensive to me. And it is doing what I would like that toy to do. It's giving Optimus Prime a better jetpack. It's giving him rocket boosters. It's giving him swords. Again, like a lot of the Armada boys, I just need a little more visual punch. I need a little bit more visual change. And with that, are we going to call it here? Because I'm going to be honest here, as I'm thinking more about the Wing Saber, that seems more fair. That seems more fair to me. So with that said, that's going to be the end of the tier list. Obviously, there's probably more Optimus Prime combinations that I did not cover. This is what I could research and come up with at a glance today. But I didn't want to talk about necessarily all of them, just the ones that stood out to me and the ones that my brain was in particular, like, letting me remember. So those are the lists for today. Obviously, if you have more, please let me know where they should have been in the tier list. Or feel free to just tell me that, your favorite ended up on the bottom. I'm sorry to Leo Breaker fans. That's just how this goes. But thank you very much for watching. As always, I do appreciate it, and I will see you next time.
The day is getting closer. My journey is almost over. And when it is, our journey begins. The question is, when the stars align, will you be there?